YouTube. This is MissVindicat, and I've got something for you, and I hope you will like it as much as I do. Let me explain what it is. First, I saw this today on a website. It's called, xkcd, and I don't actually know how to pronounce it. It is a sort of blog with cartoons, and I like it a lot, but I'm not a regular follower. I sort of forget it exists, and then I'll see another episode, I don't know, somewhere on Twitter or wherever. Today I saw this one on Twitter. Oh no, that's not even true. I put it on Twitter, but I found it in a newsletter about data journalism. As I am sort of a data journalist, I follow a couple of newsletters on that kind of stuff. And one of those linked to this post. And it says here that this is a webcomic of romance, sarcasm, math, and language. And I don't know, it's just a sort of quirky, absurdistic kind of humor that resonates with me big time. And on this website you get a comic. Let's see, what does it say? Every Monday, Wednesday, or Friday. And you can go to the previous one or to the next one, or you can click on this button, the random button, and I'll just give you a random comic. And I'll put a link to the blog, to this particular webcomic, and then you can browse around and see if you like it as well. But actually, I really liked today's version of the webcomic, so I thought I would print it out and go over it with you guys and use some pens, different colors. You know how much I love those colors. So I made I printed the page, and this is actually just the page itself, so I could show it to you guys, and I could show you the name of the webcomic and just what it looks like. And then what I did is I made another print, so I'm just going to put this away. I made another print of just the image itself, because this way it is a bit more zoomed in, and I think we can use that because the words are not that big to begin with, so it's nice to have a bit more, a bit more room to put everything and see it. So now I'm just going to talk about what this is, and I'm just gonna go all over these things. And I'm not really sure what I'm going to do it, but I just thought it would be nice to show you guys, and it would be nice to do some coloring, and we'll figure it out while we go, I think. So first of all, it is called A Guide to Figuring Out the Age of an Undated World Map. So that is, you've got a world map, you find it somewhere, I don't know, in a treasure chest on the attic at your grandmother's house, for example, or at a second-hand store where you just find all these maps and you don't know from when they are, which era they are. And then this schedule, how would you call it? This can actually help you to date the map. And then it says in little letters, assuming it's complete, labeled in English and detailed enough. And I like that because this blog, it is funny, but it is also trying to be correct, nuanced, close to the truth. So indeed, if it isn't complete, you might not be able to find all these things on there. If it isn't in English, you might not see these words, and if not detailed enough, and it just gives you an overview of the world. You also might not find all these words that are on this card on your world map. So let's begin. Here it says start. So this is the beginning, and then we get the first question: Istanbul or Constantinople? And as you may know, Istanbul is a city in Turkey. It's not the capital. The capital is Ankara, which is in the middle of the country, and Istanbul is at the west side of the country, sort of where Turkey touches Europe, or actually it's kind of blurry where Europe ends and Asia starts, and I think it is, some people say it is, Istanbul is the border. So actually Turkey is the border, but Turkey itself is sort of split between Europe and Asia, and the border actually is where Istanbul is. And the former name of Istanbul is Constantinople. So here you get three options. Let's make them yellow. Oh, that didn't make too much noise, right? You can choose Constantinople, you can choose neither, or you can choose Istanbul. Apparently there is a neither option. I hadn't thought about that, but yeah, I think there was clearly, apparently, a time when neither Istanbul nor Constantinople existed, and I don't know if that was before Constantinople was founded, or in between, or one lot after, because Istanbul still exists. So let's just go with Constantinople first, then we go to the left, we end up here. Do any of these exist? Independent Canada. Well, interesting question. I actually don't know when Canada became a country by itself. The US territory of Alaska, or Tokyo, which is the other side of the world. So we can choose no, or we can choose yes. Let's make it green, because I don't know, I like Tokyo. Well, I do like Canada as well, and Canada's pretty green, and I do like the US. Yeah, you know, I want to go everywhere. I like everything. I'll just stop saying I like everything, because I do. So let's say no, they don't exist, because I like that, because I think that means we're really going back in time. So the next question: the Holy Roman Empire. Wow, yes, back in time. How about the Holy Roman Empire? Well, you can say yes, or you can say no. So first let's go with yes, and that's actually even tiny. If the Holy Roman Empire exists, then it is 1805 or earlier. So I think that is the earliest that these maps can go. And it says, before this point, the modern idea of a complete political map of the world gets hard to apply. So indeed, before this, there wasn't such a thing, probably. So yes, that's it. That's just the beginning, you know, you can't go further back. So, alright, that's that. Then, what if there is not a Holy Empire? Well, you could argue that there is also a time before there was a Roman Empire, but I think it's probably safe to assume that any world maps did not exist because people had no good grasp of the world yet and didn't have the knowledge to, well, but then again, maybe they had a grasp of the world, it was just wrong and they did make a map of it. But I think then that probably that map doesn't exist nowadays anymore. Oh wow, now I've got all these questions in my head. I actually thought about studying archaeology and yeah, why didn't I? Studied anthropology, which was also really interesting, and it taught me a lot about the world and about myself and also about history. But well, yeah, I think luckily people can learn their whole lives, right? For example, with maps like these. Alright, so let's say the Holy Roman Empire is not to be seen on our map. So the next question is the United States. So first of all, we can say no. So we don't see the United States. And then it asks here, how sure are you that this map is in English? So probably this is an option that just can't happen. If you have a world map and yeah, let's see, Constantinople is on there, and there's no such thing as these things: independent Canada, US territory of Alaska, or Tokyo, and there is no Roman Empire, and there is no United States. Apparently you don't have an English map. Well, alright, so let's say yes, we do see the United States. Well, then we are going to zoom in on Texas. So what is Texas at this point? It can be a part of Mexico. Alright, it can be independent, or it can be part of the US. So first, well, let's go to the left one, because we're going for the left one all the time. Texas is part of Mexico, sure. Then we go on to Florida. Florida is part of Spain or the US. Alright, let's go with Spain. Then does Paraguay exist? If the answer is no, then we are in between the years of 1806 and 1810. That is actually pretty specific. And if Paraguay does exist, we are in between 1811 and 1817. Wow. Alright, but then if Florida is part of the US, then the question is Venezuela and or Ecuador. What about them? Not in place. Alright, 1818, 1829. Or yes, 1830 till 1833. So apparently 1817, 1880. 18 is the difference between whether Florida was part of the Spain of the US. Which may be common knowledge to some of you. Especially people in the United States itself, you probably have more history in your education about the US than I had, since my education was mostly focused on Europe. Sorry, I just took a sip of water, because I'm speaking a lot in these videos, guys. Alright, so then we got a third option here. About Texas can also be part of the US, like it is. Hey Mikey, like it is nowadays. And in that case we go all the way to here. And the next question becomes, does Russia border the Sea of Japan? Now I actually don't really know what that means. Apparently there is a Sea of Japan. Already, I didn't know that. I don't know what sea they mean. I don't know if that sea still exists. I think I haven't heard of it, but then again, I don't know everything, so if Russia does not border on it, then the US southern border looks weird than it is between 1846 and 1853, or normal than it is 1854 until 1856. So apparently in between these years, from 1853 till 1854, the US border gets the form that it still has today. I think that's what it means. And that's it. Then we are at the end of this road. So then we can go to another place, and that is we go back to this part. So we started with Istanbul or Constantinople. We got Constantinople. So the question is, do any of these exist? Independent Canada, US territory of Alaska, Tokyo. So the answer is yes, they do exist. Hell yeah, here they are. So the next question is South Africa. Alright, let's go for no. Then we've got Rhodesia. And Rhodesia, what is Rhodesia? Is that Zimbabwe? Now I'm confused. Please let me know in the comments if you know. So the question is Rhodesia, let's say no again, is Bolivia landlocked? Landlocked, I also don't know what that means, but let's say no. Budapest or Budapest, that's actually nice. That is the capital of Hungary, which is Budapest, and I think it's maybe named after two rivers, Buda and Pest, but I'm not sure. I've never been there. I would love to visit. It's one of the cities in Europe that well, there are many cities I haven't visited yet, but I would like to see this one. So you can choose Buda and Pest, two different things, 1868 till 1872, or you can choose Budapest, like one city already, then it is 1873 till 1883. Alright, so let's go back up again. What if we said Rhodesia did exist? Then the question is Norway part of Sweden? So, if the answer is yes, then we are between 1896 and 1905. That's actually not even that long ago. Well, relatively speaking, of course. Or the option is no, Norway is not a part of Sweden anymore. Then we are in between 1906 and 1909. Alright. So let's see, what else could we do? What if South Africa did exist at this point? Then the next question was Austria, Hungary. Indeed, that used to be one big, powerful country. So if the answer is yes, we go to Albania. Does it exist? No. 1910, 1912, or yes, 1913, 1918. Alright. So what if Austria, Hungary did not exist at this point? Then the next question becomes Leningrad. We're in Russia again. Did Leningrad not exist? Then we are between 1919 and 1923. And did it exist? Then it is between 1924 and 1929. Maybe this is the year it was named Leningrad, so it was the year Lenin died. When did Lenin die? It might be around here, I think. I'm not really sure. See, there's a lot of things that I don't know or that I once knew, but you forget things again, especially years. Sometimes it's easier to remember things if you know the context and things that happened around a certain age. I'm not very good at remembering by heart, or maybe I'm just too lazy to do so, but I don't have got all these numbers, all these years in my brain, stored in my brain. Alright, I think this part is finished. So we go back to the original question where we started. Istanbul or Constantinople? Mikey. Mikey, you are welcome to lay here, but be quiet, alright? So, Istanbul or Constantinople? Let's say neither. Yes, let's say neither. Then the next question is, does the Ottoman Empire exist? Alright. If we answer yes to that question, then we end up at the next question where we were just now. So we go back into this loop. Then if we say no, then the next question is about the Soviet Union. Does the Soviet Union exist? Alright, let's say it does. Okay, it does exist. Saudi Arabia. we say no, we end up in 1922 till 1932. And if we say yes, then the next question is most of West Africa a giant French blob? Yeah, all the countries with all the colonies. If the answer, oh now it gets confusing, where do I go first? There are so many arrows here. Okay, let's just say yes. Most of West Africa is a giant French blob. Then the next question is, how about Pakistan? Okay, let's say Pakistan does not exist. How many Germanys are there? Alright. We can choose between one, but it's huge. 2. Oh yeah, that's actually one, but it's huge. 1941, 1945. That's actually the Second World War, which actually started in 1939. So I don't know why this is 1939. So, alright, how many Germanys? Let's say 1. Then we end up with Persia or Iran. So let's say Persia. Then it is between 1930 and 1934, or if it is Iran, then it is 1935 and 1940. It must be a difficult but really entertaining job to think of all these things, you know, just to find all the different loops, and you know, to find these things, how to, yeah, just to puzzle it together. Alright, then let's say, what if there are 2 Germanys? Well, then we are between 1946 and 1947. Alright. Then what if back here Pakistan did exist? Well, then the next question becomes Cambodia. Does Cambodia exist? First, let's say no. Then we go to Eritrea. And the question is Eritrea a part of Italy or Ethiopia? If it is Ethiopia, then we are in between 1952 and 1953. Alright, if it is Italy, then the next question is about Canada again. Canada is missing a piece or fine. Well, now actually at this point I don't know what they're talking about. But if it is missing a piece, it is 1948. So now I'm trying to think what was going on there around that time. A couple of years after the Second World War. And yeah, I don't know. Well, tell me guys if you know what's going on here. So if Canada is fine, then we go to this thing. The town on 125 between Albuquerque and El Paso is, well, that's actually pretty detailed. It is either hot springs or I can't even read this. What does it say? Truth or consequences? Was there seriously a town called Truth or Consequences? Well guys, there are so many things that I don't know. But alright. It's a good thing that I'm coloring the routes that I've took, because otherwise I would have been at a loss right now. By the way, if you're wondering what this black thing is, oh sorry Mike, that is Mike, and apparently I tickled him, so he meowed the best he could. He's not a very good meower, he can only do this really cute, yeah, like this, really cute, soft meow. Hi Mikey, I should not have tickled you, I'm sorry. Just lay down again. Yes, lay down. Yeah, just lay down. Alright, very well. Alright. So, well, we're here at this strange thing. Apparently, if it is hot springs, then it is 1948 or 1949. And if it is Truth or Consequences, then it is 1950 till 1952. Alright, then let's go back up up, see where we left off. Here. What if Cambodia did exist? Well, then the next question becomes, is the area south of Lake Victoria? Oh no, Mikey, no. Okay, the area south of Lake Victoria, that is either British, then we are in 1960, or I can't read this either. Tanganyika. I don't know what that is. Then it is between 1961 or 64 and 64, and it's also possible that it is Tanzania, in which case it is 1965 till 1971. Alright, so let's go back up again and see where we left off. Yeah, I think here. The question, after Saudi Arabia does exist, yes, alright. Is most of West Africa a giant French blob? What if we say no? Okay, then the next question becomes, how many Vietnams are there? Let's first say 2. Then the next question is Bangladesh. How about Bangladesh? If Bangladesh exists, then it is between 1972 and 1975. If Bangladesh does not exist, then we go, is the area south of Lake Victoria? We've been there already. Alright. Then let's say how many Vietnams? 1. Then we're talking about Jimmy Carter. And he is either, I need to put it up a little bit again. He is either being attacked by a giant swimming rabbit, in which case it is April 20, 1979. But this doesn't make sense because Jimmy Carter won't be on this world map, right? So this is just alright. See guys, this guy is just funny. Or Jimmy Carter is fine. In which case, the next question is about, let's see, the Sinai is part of what country? And we even have 4 options here. So let's see. It might be part of Israel. Then it's 1976 till 1979. It might be part of mostly Israel, in which case it's 1980. It might be mostly Egypt, 1981, or it might be Egypt. And in that latest case, if it is Egypt, the next question becomes, what is the capital of Micronesia? And wow, I don't think I know cities in Micronesia. But let's see, we've got Colonia or Balikir, I think. It's pretty difficult to read. So let's go with Colonia. Then the next question is Republic of the Upper Volta or Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso, I know that is a country in Africa. I mean, I don't know, I haven't been there or anything, but can I point it out on a map? Maybe not exactly, but it is in the upper half of Africa, and no, I don't think I can really pinpoint it. Well, I should study geography again. There was a time that I could do all the countries in the world, but I forgot again, I think. Well, that might be something for another video. For now, let's just say if it is Upper Volta, then it is 1982 to 1984. If it is Burkina Faso, then it is 1985 till 1988. We haven't had 1981 yet, right? That's the year that I was born. November 6, 1981. Well, anyway, what's the capital of Micronesia? What if it's Balikir? Then the next question becomes the number number of Germans plus the number of Germanys. Wow. Holy shit. That is actually pretty complicated. But then again, you can find it on a map. So it might be 4. Then it is 1989 until early 1990. It might be 3, then it is mid 1990, or it might be 2, then it is late 1990 till 1991. Wow. Alright, and then we are at the end of this loop. So let's see where we can go. I think we're at the end of this. No, because we can go this way. Here, first we had Istanbul or Constantinople. We went with neither. Then the question was the Soviet Union. We said yes, and then we ended up on this whole route. So let's say the Soviet Union, nope, did not exist at this point. So the next question is North Korea. How about that? Then it is just no. Oh no, it's not true. Yes, goes that way. Alright, let's first go with the no. Then the question is St. Trimble's Island. I've never heard about that one at all. Yes. Oh. Alright, it says no, I made that one up. So it makes sense that I haven't heard of that one. Then the next question is Jan Mayen part of the Kingdom of Norway? Now I don't know what Jan Mayen is, but we can choose between not yet. I don't know, how would you know if it is not yet or it is no? But maybe not yet is just a no, in which case you go to this question again and you go onto this route. Or the answer is yes, in which case you go to Pakistan, you end up on this route. Or you can say like, what? It's basically what I was just doing, even though I don't have a map to play this game with. Oh, that might be nice. I can get out my own world map and see if this actually works. Yes. But that might be something for another video, but that would be a real nice follow-up video, and then I can just... I've got this old world map, world atlas actually, and I got it as a birthday present, I think on my 11th birthday or something like that, and I loved looking at it. And then I can just really follow this schedule and see where I end up, see what year it is, and then check if that is actually the year that the atlas was published. And then if that maybe only takes me 3 minutes, we can just browse through the atlas, because that is very much fun to do no matter what. Alright, getting all hyped up here because of a whisper video. Well, yeah, alright. So, Jan Mayen, is it part of the Kingdom of Norway? And indeed, I'm saying what? Can you see the familiar continents? Oh, I think here we're going back in time also. So let's first say yes. This sounds like a physical map or satellite photo. A physical map or satellite photo. Like, why is that? Well, I don't know why that is, but alright, the answer is yes, it is. Is Lake Chad missing? I don't even know where, like, do you like this? No, that's not very healthy. Well, I like to smell it too, so I do get it. Is Lake Chad missing? Alright, first say no, it's not missing. Then we go here. How far east do the American prairies reach? Well, alright. We can check that out. So they might reach until Indiana, then it is before 1830. They might reach the Mississippi, in which case it's between 1830 and the 1880s. They might reach Nebraska, in which case we get another question. Is there a big lake in the middle of Southern California created by mistake? Oh, now I'm curious again. What lake was created by mistake? Please tell me if you're still awake and you know the answer, because this one is going to bug me. So if the answer is no, then it is 1960s, still 1990s. If the answer is yes, then it's the 1910s. So apparently that's when the big lake was created by accident. Strange. Alright. Or the American prairies reach still. What prairies? Alright, there are no prairies. Why not? And then there is another question. Is there a big lake in the middle of Ghana created on purpose? Alright. That is actually funny and strange, and it feels like it doesn't make sense, and I don't have enough knowledge to know if this makes sense or not, these two. But I think they do, otherwise they wouldn't be on here. So if there is a big lake, then it is the 1920s, still the 1950s. And if there is not a big lake, then it is the 1960s, still 1970s. Alright. Then here, can you see the familiar continents? We can also say no, which is a more interesting answer, I think. Then the next one is rivers Sirion and Andun. Oh, I get what he's doing here. I thought we were gonna go way back. I didn't read this whole thing through, you know. I just gave it a quick glance and I already liked it a lot. So, the question is, are there any rivers Sirion or Anduin? And if the answer is yes, the next question is Mordor. Now we're in the Lord of the Rings. So, oh, wait a minute. We missed one here. Let's go up a little bit. Okay, here. Is Lake Chad missing? We said no, we ended up here, but we could also say yes, in which case, is the Aral Sea missing? I don't know where that is. But if the answer is no, then we are in the 1970s, still the 1990s. If it is missing, then it is 2000s plus. I think there is a plus. Let me see. No, the 2000s, I think. I don't know. 2000s plus. Yes, that's probably what it says here. So let's go back to Mordor. Let's say yes, there is a Mordor. Then it is Numedor. I think this is all Lord of the Rings, right? If the answer is yes, then we are in the late Second Age. If the answer is no, the forest east of the Misty Mountains. I don't remember exactly what was where and when in Lord of the Rings, but this is actually quite clever. Or annoying maybe, but I like it. It can be Greenwood the Great, in which case it is early Third Age. It can be Mirkwood, in which case it's late Third Age. Or it can be the wood of green leaves, in which it is the Fourth Age. Or maybe there is no Mordor, and then it is Beleriand. And I don't exactly remember this, because Mordor was there, right? Mordor wasn't destroyed, and it did exist all the time. Or apparently it didn't. Don't remember the story well enough. Anyway, if there was a Beleriand, it is yes, then it's the First Age. If it's no, then it's early Second Age. So if it's pretty early on in the story, right? So apparently Mordor wasn't always there. Well, don't know. So if there are not any rivers Sirion and Aldun, then the next question is Leer Barafel. And now I actually don't know which world we're entering because I don't recognize this. So let's just continue. Moss Flower. Still no clue. If the answer is yes, then we are in Red Wall. If the answer is no, then is the world on the back of a turtle. Now, I don't know if the answer is no, then the question becomes, are you sure this is a map? Well, yeah, okay, maybe the answer is no, this is not a map. Is it trying to bite you? Alright, yes. If you let it go, what does it do? Hisses and runs away, then it is a cat. Or, what does it say here? Screeches and flips around the room, breaking things. In which case, it's a seagull. Alright, we're kind of in some strange areas here. So, it's not trying to bite you, then it is it larger than a bread box? Important question, I think. If the answer is yes, then it is a tuba. If the answer is no, it's a stapler. If it's about the same, then it is a bread box. Alright, here we actually get to the point where I'm like, alright, this is not funny anymore, but still I laugh. You know that somebody makes a joke and you're like, no, I'm not going to laugh about this, laugh at this joke, but still you're just laughing. That's what's happening here, sort of like these dead jokes. Although what I do like about it, I'm sure that most people would just glance at it and think that's nice or that's boring and go on. And then some people will start to read it, and I think most people won't take an in-depth look as we are doing now. Even today I took a look at it before I decided to print it, but I only saw the first ones and not even all of them, so... Okay, then, are you sure this is a map? What if we say yes? Did you make it yourself? Oh, that is actually a clever question that I really like. Because indeed, that might be the answer. If the answer is yes, then it's very nice. Thank you. Wonderful. And also, there's no other option. So you can say, are you sure it's a map? Yes. Then the only option is you made it yourself. Well, of course, it could be possible that someone made up a map and then put it somewhere for someone else to find. So the answer might be no here, but alright. So let's go back a bit to here, the lair Paravel or scare Paravel, I don't even know. This was the part where I was lost anyway, so the next question, I think this is a C, care Paravel. Alright, anyway, the next question is Kalorman. Still got no clue what it is. So, does it exist? No. Alright. Then how about the Lotte Islands? If the answer is no, we go to the left again, where we've got Piruna. If Piruna is a fort, then the lion, the witch, and the wardrobe. If it is a bridge, Prince Caspian. Seriously, I'm sure this makes sense to someone. Please do explain to me in the comments, because I don't know. Or Lotte Islands, the answer might be yes, in which case it is Dawn Trader. Alright, then Kalarman can also be a yes. Then we have weird recursive heaven. I have no idea what that means, but I don't even know what does recursive mean. Like, at all. I don't know. Well, the answer is no. One of the random later books. Yes, The Last Battle. Damn, what world is this? I'm not really into fantasy. And I don't even know if it is fantasy, I'm just clueless here. Alright. Now, we've seen pretty much a lot of this map already, but we've got one option left. Istanbul or Constantinople. What if it is Istanbul? Then we go to the next question. Does the Soviet Union exist? If the answer is yes, we go to the left and we end here, you know, that West Africa is a giant French blob, yes or no. We go in that loop. If the answer is no, then it is Zaire or Hong Kong, UK. Okay, if the answer is yes to those, then it is 1992 till 1996. If the answer is no, we're going to look at Serbia, Montenegro, R, and the answer is one country or two countries. So let's first go with the one country. Then the next question is East Timor. If the answer is no, it is 1997 till 2001. If the answer is yes, it's 2002 till 2006. Alright, next questions. How many Sudans are there? Can be one, then it is 2007 till 2011. Or it can be two, in which case is Crimea disputed. If the answer is no, it's 2012-2013. That is a short time of not being disputed. If the answer is yes, then we go to Colorado or danger radioactive exclusion zone avoid. Alright, I don't really know what that means either. But alright, if it is Colorado, it is 2000. Oh! This is not a joke, guys. This is actually kind of a cruel joke. He is saying, if it is Colorado still, then we are in between 2014 and 2021. And if there is a danger zone, then it is just a warning, mention spiders. Alright, I'm not liking this. If the answer is no, then it is 2022. If the answer is yes, then it's 2023 or later. Ouch. Then I would say that we're at the end of the map, but that's not true because luckily I used the colors. See this one? We forgot about this one. Apparently, the question Cambodia. Does Cambodia exist? We said no when we went on this trail. But we could also say yes. In which case we ended up here. And then it is the United Arab Republic. Does it exist? If the answer is no, then it is 1954. 1954 till 1957. If it does exist, it is 1958 till 1960. Wow. That's it, guys. That is the guide to figuring out the age of an undated world map. Well, I did enjoy myself just looking over it and coloring and, you know, laughing at his clever and sometimes stupid jokes. So I think this will be it. I hope you enjoyed this video. And yeah, like I said, I might do the second part where I play with my world atlas and I go and see if I